They finally did it! All it took was no Connor McDavid and no Leon Draisaitl, plus the best roster the Vancouver Canucks have iced this entire preseason, and now they have themselves a win. The Vancouver Canucks have defeated the Oilers 5-2 here in Rogers Arena on Truth and Reconciliation Day. The Vancouver Canucks unfortunately did not have any warm-up jerseys like they had last year. They had the really nice orange ones, but even without the jerseys, they still had a very good tribute and acknowledgement to Truth and Reconciliation. That was great to see. Also, big shocking news out of the hockey world that dropped during this game, that Calgary Flames former assistant GM Chris Snow had unfortunately passed away, so condolences to his family, friends, and of course to the Flames themselves too. Heading over onto tonight's game, though, Vancouver versus Edmonton. As we had said, this was the best Canucks roster we have seen so far. Besser, Pettersson, Miller, Kuzmenko, Hughes, Petey, Beauvillier, Demko, even all the defensemen. Tyler Myers was out here. Carson Soucy, Ian Cole. You had some depth forwards that were also mainstay guys. Teddy Blueger, Pius Suter, Nils Höglander all suiting up. This was the best roster by far, against an Edmonton team that had played last night against the Calgary Flames, that will be playing again Monday against the Seattle Kraken, so they have a day's worth of rest. But tonight's Oilers roster did not see McDavid, did not see Draisaitl. They had some guys that were good. Nugent Hopkins was playing, Evander Kane, Matthias Janmark, Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard, so definitely not a terrible roster, but of course, no McDavid, no Draisaitl really makes a big difference, and yeah, the Canucks did not have themselves the best start in the world in this one, admittedly, because even though you had no McDavid, Draisaitl, the shots on goal after the first period were still 14-4 for Edmonton, and it was a 1-0 Oilers lead. Now, that wasn't the Canucks' fault per se. I'd rather say it was because they had so many penalties. It was Cole McWard who ended up starting things off early for Vancouver in terms of his trips to the penalty box. And the Oilers did have a lot of pressure early on in this game, too. The Canucks on the penalty kill, when McMord went to the box, actually were able to kill it off, but the power play for this Oilers team, they had themselves some chances. The Canucks, though, after the 5v5 play ensued, had some great pressure and chances themselves in this first period. A standout play was when Elias Pettersson had a 2-on-1, but ended up bobbling the puck and losing control. Kuzmenko then tries to find the puck back to Pettersson, but Pettersson is skating to the bench at this point, which ends up icing the puck back to Demko. It was a very scrambled play. There were a lot of scrambly plays, especially towards the end of this game here, but eventually it's Andrei Kuzmenko who goes to the box for slashing as well. This one gets killed by Vancouver too, but Adam Erne scores right after. It's a pretty bad clearing attempt by this Canucks decor as Matthias Janmark comes right in. He takes a shot. The rebound is sitting in front of the goal, and no Canuck is able to put a stick on it, which leads Erne to be able to pick it up and just spin it right by Demko. 1-0 is the score here for the Oilers at the end of the first. 14-4, the shots on goal for Edmonton. The second period starts out, and McWard takes another penalty. It's holding on Raphael Lavoie. This one also gets killed by Vancouver, which is good for them. But then the action strikes back the opposite way, as eventually it's Phil Giuseppe who gets himself a 2-on-1 for Vancouver. He's got Captain Quinn Hughes on his opposite side, and Giuseppe, instead of taking the shot, instead of making a flat pass, ends up throwing a Hail Mary sauce right towards Hughes, and Hughes baseball bats it into the open cage, making it 1-1. I'll admit, this pass wasn't great. It wasn't a traditional sauce where the puck kind of flies up and then it pats on the ground a little bit before Hughes takes the shot. No, Giuseppe kind of shot the puck at Hughes, and Hughes then just bats the puck in out of midair, baseball style, on Stuart Skinner to tie the game. The Canucks at this point can only get goals from Quinn Hughes, as he was the only guy to score for the team in that other Edmonton game. And then, just 2 minutes after that, it's Quinn Hughes again who gets another goal. 2-1 is the score here, as Quinn gets the puck on the left half boards in the Oilers zone, swoops around the top of the umbrella, from the left side to the middle, backhands it right through, and it goes in the 5-hole of Skinner and pops out the other side to give the Canucks the 2-1 lead. At this point, the Vancouver Canucks have only scored, what is that, 4 goals in their entire preseason, and 3 of them have been scored by Hughes. The other one was Connor Garland against the Seattle Kraken. This is Captain Hughes showing off why he was working so hard in his shot. We had heard all the interviews about how he said he wants to shoot more, he wants to shoot better, and now he's doing that with 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's Cole McWard afterwards who makes things interesting because he gets another penalty, tripping on Lane Pettersson, his 3rd penalty in the game. And speaking about Pettersson, you had yourselves Elias Pettersson that started hitting guys in this period too. He had a few hits, and then the big one was on Lane Pettersson, oddly enough, kind of Pettersson thing going on there, but Elias Pettersson had a pretty good physical edge to this game, which we have not seen out of him over the past few years. Could you imagine back when Petey was a rookie, when he was getting bodied and manhandled by these bigger guys, that a few years later he would be the player just knocking guys off of their skates? Pretty good stuff. Eventually, the Canucks get themselves another power play. It is Teddy Bluger who gets hit by Evan Bouchard. The Canucks go on a 5-on-3 after Kuzmenko gets high-sticked on this power play as well. This actually extends at the end of the second period into the start of the third, wherein one of the power plays actually gets killed, and then Brandon Sutter for Oilers Town takes another penalty at the start of the third. So the Canucks had another 5-on-3. They had like 4 or 5 straight penalties in this game, with a bunch of them overlapping, giving the Canucks 5-on-3 stints. But of course, we're not going to be complaining about that, as on this 5-on-3 at the start of the third period, it's Andrei Kuzmenko who eventually scores. A great break-in for the Canucks sets this up as Elias Pettersson holds the puck on the right side blue line boards. He sends it over to Hughes down, and Hughes goes right back into the middle for Kuzmenko, who drags it, shoots it, and goes under the glove of Skinner, 3-1. This was on the power play 5-on-3, so the Canucks still have a regular power play for 136, and then we start to see the second unit. And my goodness, they sucked. Like, a lot of these guys on the second Canucks power play unit don't normally play power play time, so I could understand why their mindset and positioning was kind of off, but they just didn't really get anything done. Eventually, it's Nugent Hopkins who goes to the box for cross-checking, so yet another power play opportunity for Vancouver is on the board. And this is where Elias Pettersson scores. Great play. It's Quinn Hughes who keeps the puck in at the blue line, sends it down the left half boards to Miller. Miller across the slot to Besser, who goes back over to Petey, who walks right in, uses the screen, holds the puck, shoots the puck, and snipes the puck. Top corner, making it 4-1 Vancouver. The next few shifts, Ian Cole takes a long shot. Giuseppe tips it out in front, making it 5-1. Stuart Skinner is frozen at this point, and Brock Boeser gets his 4th assist on the night. Yeah, we haven't been talking about this, but playmaking Brock is back on the menu here, boys. Brock was the guy who had sent the puck over to Ian Cole, who shot it for Giuseppe to tip it. He also had an assist, of course, on the Pettersson goal. He had an assist on both of the Hughes goals, so there you go. That's a total of 4 on the night for Brock. But unfortunately, after this Giuseppe goal, it's Edmonton who comes right back. It's Ian Cole who ends up pinching a little bit too hard on the left side in the Oilers zone, which eventually results in an Oilers 2-on-1. Raphael Lavoie comes right in and he snipes it top left side, and it's a beautiful shot. I mean, 5-2 is the score here now. Raphael Lavoie is a young guy with a brilliant scoring touch, a big dude too, so it's tough to stop that guy. Eventually, you have yourselves a few more chances, some good pace, Demko making some weird decisions with the puck, but things kind of get weird at the end of the game because Bouchard gets a penalty for elbowing, so the Canucks are getting a penalty, or a power play, to end off the game. And then you have some really rough stuff going on with Desharnais and Beauvillier. Studnicka and Adam Erne went after each other as well. Lots of fighting, lots of face washing, and lots of referees trying to break everything up to end this game off. Lots of tension flaring between these two teams at the end of a 5-2 hockey game with about 38 seconds to go in the frame. Definitely not the way you would want to see things end off, but at the end of the day, the Canucks got the 5-2 win. It's their first win of the preseason. Quinn Hughes with 2 goals and an assist. Brock Boeser with 4 assists. Petey with a goal and an assist. Thatcher Demko making 24 saves out of 26 shots against, so a .923 save percentage for him. And the Vancouver Canucks finally have themselves stuff to cheer about. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Canucks versus Oilers preseason game? 5-2 is the result here for Vancouver. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.